Welcome back to Project Ozone 3 Kappa mode, and I've started not into blood magic as I was going to say, but I made this hydraulic press because hey, the internet likes hydraulic press videos, right? Anyway, hydraulic press is just from a magnetic raft with a piece of paper and an iron ingot, and you place it on the floor once you've got the blueprint, and you build it up. It's just using tungsten mainly for the two sides there. And yeah, it's perfectly easy to make. And RF transformer, I think that also involves some zinc, but that basically translates from RF into the RF transformer, which then turns it into whatever power system this needs, which is volts. Okay, so this whole thing will then work. You need to feed some steel into it, and you'll start to get the bits and pieces we need for an injector. So the Spectre energy injector gets these 4 heavy steel plates. The Spectre lens, on the other hand, needs jade. Go into the Erebus with your 3x3 pickaxe and just make a few corridors. You will find jade. It's not too rare. 8 to 9 corridors or something max length, and I found some jade into the umber stone or whatever it's called at normal kind of heights. So that's perfectly fine, and we should be able to then make a Spectre lens. I've already made that, and then do I have everything I need? I do have everything I need. There's our energy injector. That's kind of useless without the corresponding Spectre coils though. So Spectre coil, can we just make a couple or something like that? Do I have enough resources? I need a Spectre ingot. I thought I already got some Spectre ingots, maybe not. Okay, so let's just get a few of them and then feed this in. Okay, so I've only got enough for 2 of these Spectre coils. I'm really short on the Spectre string basically because Spectre string is going to be the Britannia stuff, so I need mana to actually do that. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is just waiting for mana. And also this involves prosperity shards, and I don't have a renewable source of them other than crushing some netherrack and other bits and pieces. And that's not in our current tier of stuff. I have to crush endstone in our current tier of stuff to get it. But it's simple once I do that. So it's not renewable, but I can go and gather some off camera. Anyway, that gives us 2 things. It gives us an energy injector, which should inject into our player network, if you like, for this, and I can just put this is our input line, that's our buffers, that's our output line, so I want to put it on this side of the output line. There we go, and you can see that's filling up with energy. Okay, so if I just now I need something that actually takes power, and I've been powering using a battery of some kind. I was going to use that, but then I don't need anything else from that right now. I did have a battery somewhere else. I've got to figure out, it's got to be around here somewhere. Nope. I did make one. Okay, so here's where my battery was, my energy cell, and I've just put Spectre coils down on these, which should transmit the wireless power for us to use the wither killing machine for future use. I don't need to go and refill it. So kind of cool. All right, so that's that over with. We've got wireless power. And of course, with wireless power comes wireless responsibility, maybe? That is to retool your base to basically make sure you don't have runs of cable everywhere, and I've done exactly that. So I've got a new platform out here where our Empower was, so I can expand that way, and our power is over here with 3 miscellaneous settings. And also if I just bring up the chunk lines, you can see that each of these is in their own chunk, so that will just help with multi-chunk rendering and stuff like that if we ever need that kind of level of detail. We don't normally need that level, but it's nice to have that sometimes. I've got my furnaces out here. They're fed around the back just by an energy cell, fed by wireless power. This is all separated now. Again, wireless power for the compactor. This is our generating thing. So this is where we generate all of our power, and it's entirely separate from everything else, which is cool. And of course, we can easily expand these solar panels to produce more. The main thing right now in terms of the bottleneck is actually the wireless power Spectre coils themselves. These only actually deal with 1000 RF per tick. So if you wanted more than that on any one particular coil, you have to upgrade to the next level. But other than that, we've got everything nice and separate. Now, with all that done, and of course everything's nicely laid out, we want to look at demonic wills. Now, these take snares. I got about 1 of these for about every 7 or 8 snares that I made. Now, snares are actually pretty expensive because you have to go and grab torchberries. So I went to the Twilight Forest, went spelunking, and got about 20 of those, or a bit more than that. And once you find a cave system, they're actually relatively common, but until you find that, they're not common at all. Certainly, we won't find them on the surface, so you'd have to dig for them or whatever. And you make these mana-infused dust, which you can then make into snares. So you go into your hunting dimension and go and throw the snares at mobs. And if you get a white particle effect from them, then you go and get your demonic will. The demonic will is the first step in blood magic. So if we take a look at the uses for this thing, the main one is going to be blood altar. Of course, we also need this reinforced exoskeleton plate, and we don't have any of those just yet. So just like usual, the mod pack is sending you on a bit of a trip to Erebus, and these drop from I'm almost sure they drop from mobs inside the pyramids, if I remember rightly. It's been a while, so we need to go to the Erebus, and of course the Erebus is one of those places where you can't get anything nice like flying, so you got to actually go and navigate your way around with the old-fashioned method of, where are you, Staff of Traveling, with hang gliders and slime boots and whatever else you actually need. So off we go, and go and try and find some corners of the Antlion pyramid, I think. I did actually want to show one other thing, which is these. These are Waystones. You find them in the hunting dimension villages. Thanks very much to a commenter who mentioned them. Like a poor man's teleport, according to the commenter, and I agree. You can basically go and take one of these, and let's just say we take this one, and you can put this somewhere else, name it, and then you can right-click on either one to get to the other one, basically. So they're like a sort of dynamic portal system. So if I put one down and say, ooh, portals, okay, and then I right-click on it, and I can go to home, right-click on it, go to portals, and that should work across dimensions as well, I think. But yeah, useful thing to actually pick up so that you have it with you. Now, where was I going? Erebus. Okay, Erebus. Oh, hate the Erebus dimension. Off to the Antlions. So we're down here in the pyramid sort of area. There is a maze underneath that you can basically run through, and some of those exoskeleton plates come from the chests in here. So just run around pretty much at random, because you can always get back home easily and go and collect everything that you want. And what I actually want some chests to show you guys. They're just not turning up. Oh, well, there's one of the Guardians. You need all four, so having the Guardian being around is fine. Also, you can just dig in from the outside if you actually want to, from a corner. That's normally the best way to actually do that, and works very well. So I think that means we're at one of the corners. Let's just look at the map. Wow, not the magma crawlers. No. Okay, let's just zoom in. So, yes, there's one of the corners. So you can go here. And you can slowly dig through this. They turn into lava, I think I remember rightly. If you, yep, they do. So you do actually want to deal with them by just putting some of the blocks down, sandstone or whatever. There we go. Get rid of the lava source block, and then you can basically dig outwards. Once you're in one of the corners like this, oh, hello. Yeah, once you're in one of the corners, once you've dug out, that is, you can then go to any of the other corners just by following the edge of the wall, just by using you know, your normal 3x3 sort of approach. So if we just go here, on 3x3, let's just take a look. 3x3, yep, so 3x3 it is. And there it is. Okay. I need to get my saturation back, but you can see you can find jade this way. And all you have to do is get to the other end and then dig into the corner, do the same thing again, and you can get the next Guardian. And of course you can, there we go. So you get the next Guardian usually fairly easily just by breaking a block. There we go. And breaking it again. The Guardian should come and say hello at some point. Regardless, you need all four anyway, and I've got a whole bunch of loot that I actually don't need. So I'm just going to get them back in the system or throw them away, and we'll come back in a few minutes once I've got a bit more done. With all four Guardians down, you're now free to go and get into the top of our pyramid. And aside from various web spiders, so we can just drop all of the different ones in. There we go. Oh, you're going to come and play. Okay, go away. There we go. We want the yellow and the green. Okay, then it opens up this area on the inside, and it's now a series of small but not very hard puzzles. Basically asks you to get certain things. So jade, for example, it says jade slot here, so it gives you them for the first one. Okay, and this will open up another teleporter. There we go. I think that's the one to get out, actually. So we have those. Compound eyes. And now, each room we have to have some of each thing to order to get through the rooms. So I did go and get, I think you're going to need about 54 of these. So having some extras is going to be good. 54 only because you need 18 per blood altar, and of course 3 18s. So here we have some extras to be able to get through each one. And I think this is where I'm going to be caught short because, yeah, there are certain things that I won't have, like magma cream. I don't think I have any. Magma cream, we can make it though, and we can probably make it easily enough with our existing system. So let's just get that magma cream recipe. And we want 8. There we go. 8 will do, and I'm just going to put the exoskeleton away because I don't want to lose any of them. Magma cream it is. I think the other one that I won't have is the magma crawler eyes. I've got 2 of them, but you actually need, like, here we go, magma crawler eye slot. I've only got 2, and you find them in the pyramid themselves, in the maze area, so you have to go and get those. So for now, we'll get a little bit stuck, but you just work your way back through the portals, and you end up at the top. There we go. Well, that's not very useful. It's a portal that doesn't actually take you any further than top. Anyway, it doesn't much matter because we can get back easily with our Overworld apples. But I should have actually saved the, you know, the Waystone and brought it with me, because you can go backwards and forwards then really quite easily without the travelling in between. So that's probably a worthwhile use for that second Waystone. It's like your second teleporter to go back to the base. You do have to then go back again, pick it up, and then use an Overworld apple, but it does let you actually work remotely. And it's on top of where my portal point in is. So for that matter, now we should have everything we need for the blood altars. So let's just take a look at the blood altar. Okay, blood altar. It just needs. I'm going to make 6 of these, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we have, well, basically steel, demonic will, and gold furnace. Not sure if it's actually going to be able to pick up and remember these demonic wills. I do have them. Just maybe not in the system. Have I put them somewhere else? Probably put them in here, and that's not linked. Yeah, there we go. Okay, demonic wills, and we'll just make 3 of the blood altars to get started. We're only going to need 1 to get started anyway, but I'd rather have the others. So I just need some steel, and I'll make that up off camera. And it's very, very easy to do that with an alloy first, and all of these are now wireless as well. They're just held with the same thing as before. We just have another energy cell that's acting as a buffer, and the power's coming from our main generation, so that's all good. That gives me the 2 extra blood magic altars. So just to explain why we need 3 blood altars. Well, to get started, that's why I said you only need 1. That 1 will do everything at the start. You know, you don't have any option over it. But later on, we'll make 1 altar, which is your main general purpose altar. 1 altar, which is for generating blood magic, essentially. And the other one is for crafting. So you'll have 3 altars running simultaneously. The generating altar, usually you use witches underneath it, and witches are very good at self-healing, so when they're donating their blood magic, inverted quote marks, they will be donating and able to heal themselves, so they won't die, and you'll end up with a nice generating solution. But to get started, let's get into blood magic. To build the book for blood magic, you're going to need a few things, nothing too special at this point, but you need fire research. So in here, you're going to need this one. Just the first fire research should do it. So let's just see if this is particularly short while I talk about other things. So IG, I think this could be Ignis. N, I maybe, yes, and maybe S. Hopefully that's the last one. There we go, fire research. So have a look in here, the sanguine Scientem, whatever you want to call it. Needs these searing crystals, which are just a bucket of lava and some simple crystals. Do I have any crystals in there already? No. Let's just grab some crystals. Yep, let's just grab. So only need 4 and a bucket. Bucket will do. I guess we maybe even use the reservoir, but I always just grab a bucket of lava from up here somewhere. Later on, we can just put it in fluid tanks and have like separate fluid channels for different liquids, but for now, it doesn't much matter. 4 and 1. Oops, you need the specific arrangement. Okay, and there's our 4 searing crystals. The rest of the book needs blood. This is coagulated blood, which you can get from, well, blood in a... Oh, this is going to require a sacrifice. Blood in a... oh dear, from a smeltery. Go and stand in your smeltery, and Yes, this should generate you some blood. See here, you're going to get some nice blood. You could drop something in there from like a cow or something, but since we're pretty good at actually basically repairing ourselves, we're perfectly fine there to actually do this. So you need to get yourself, how much is it? 160 millibuckets per coagulated blood orb. So I've got enough for 2. And let's get a full bucket or something like that, and we'll just pour it out, and it should just pour straight into our tables. Leave those once you've cast them on some drying racks, and you end up with 4, which you can then use to make your book. 1 Sanguine Scienthem. Good. Blood magic. Okay, ready to build our sort of blood altar platforms. I've got my blood altar down and use the sacrificial dagger I've just crafted. We'll come into that back in that in a second. But we need to make multiple platforms, and they are rather large, these platforms. I think the full size altar is 23 by 23, so i.e. this block, that corner block of that L there is 23 by 23. So these platforms 25 by 25 to give it a little bit of extra space around the outside, and made of stone and these light blocks. So you could build multiple of them, and it's not too bad with an unbreakable wand, but there's a better way with a copy-paste gadget. If you haven't used this before, you definitely should. So here, go into G, make sure you're in copy mode, just shift right-click to get out of that, right-click a block, go over to the other side, make sure you make a column at the other side to copy everything inside in Z as well as, in Y, so that you just right-click that one. This entire area is copied, apart from the blood altar in the middle. And then if you press G, go into paste mode, you then just want to make an extension to your platform. So you go down 1 and then across however many. So I want a gap of 3 in between them. So I've gone across 4, so I can then place this one in the corner. You can see, however, right now it's wrong. It's sort of too far down. So if we press G again and then go to edit placement, we should be able to basically shift this up until we get to the right level, and then press OK. And then now you can see, hopefully, that is the right placement. So right click, and you get an entirely new platform as long as you've got the stuff in your inventory ready to put down more stuff, like, say, for example, another blood altar and a third blood altar over here. This one actually I just knocked out the center block, but we'll need to knock that back out again in a minute. So yeah, and then you just obviously you can just delete your little bits and pieces here. There's these construction sort of blocks. So very handy to actually make anything in a Void World. I'm very happy to have builders gadgets or direwolves building gadgets in the pack. Makes it so much easier. What isn't easier, however, is some of the stuff in Blood Magic. In particular, well, it's not so much Blood Magic as it is some of the mod pack stuff. Let's just show you what I mean. So we've got these 3 now wonderful blood altars. Don't really do all that much right now, and they sort of need a sacrificial dagger to fill them up. As you might imagine, if you've used blood magic before, you go near a blood altar, you right click and hold, and you damage yourself, and in return you get some blood in your blood altar, life essence. Sorry, I shouldn't call it blood, even though it's called blood magic as a mod, but let's not go there. Life essence it is, and that basically gets replenished quite a lot, because I've got saturation. So I definitely would advocate having saturation 3 in this case, from your racks turn-ins, so you're able to basically fill an altar like this. Okay, now how did I make a sacrificial dagger? It's not simple. This bit is quartz, black quartz sword, no problem. Soulium, less so. Soulium is something you smelt from soulium dust, and that takes soul dust, which is actually very easy to make. It's just soul stone, which is just soul sand and stone, and you combine them and away you go. However, prudentium, that's the main issue. It's back into some mystical agriculture, and the problem here is that prudentium you can't get a seed for. If I go for inferium, you can make inferium seeds, and indeed we will make inferium seeds, but you get the idea. There are multiple tiers of them, I should say. There we go, straightforward inferium seeds, and then the next tier up is lots of prudentium. Okay. But if I do the same thing, same prudentium, there is no seed. If you click on this to see the recipes for it, the only recipes is either the block, which is useless, and then there is the crafting upgrades with infusion crystals, and then this neutral steel of the 1st degree to get to prudentium. Okay, and prudentium then, obviously you might imagine, To go up 1 tier, you that's a crafting seed. That's not a prudentium seed. Just to be clear. To go up 1 tier, you can then go through this, but you're doing the same thing basically for each tier. So if I go to Superium, again has no seeds. You go through this neutral steel plus 4 of the previous tier. And that's a problem. It's a problem because to get to this kind of stuff, let me go back to the prudentium. Yep, there we go. To get to this stuff, it's easy to get the Inferium. You need neutral steel of 1st degree, and 2nd degree and 3rd degree for the later tiers, and you need infusion crystals. Infusion crystals are not hard. They're just Inferium, base essence ingot, which is easy, mana diamonds, which is now easy because we've got Britannia up and running. This is before you can start actually getting this stuff. However, this neutral steel of the 1st degree, yes, this is draconium with blazing pyrotheum. Okay, now we don't have renewable draconium yet. That's the main stopping thing here. We can get renewable-ish blazing pyrotheum. We need to basically make the pyrotheum dust. That's a couple of blaze, a redstone, and sulfur. Sulfur's probably the hardest there. I need to go and figure out a renewable source, but there will be. And yeah, it takes a few stacks of that even to get just down to 1. It's 2 buckets of this per 1 draconium. So 2 buckets, as you might imagine, we need 4 of these. So that's 4 times that. So that's 8 buckets, and it's 8 blazing pyrotheum per bucket. Sorry, 4 per bucket. So as you might imagine, it's like 32. That's like what, 32 blazing pyrotheum or something like that. Dust to get to this. So it's very intensive, and it's probably the biggest bottleneck I've seen so far in the mid game, getting to prudentium. So doing that gets you prudentium, and you need 4 of those. Hence, you need a couple of stacks of things going. You need 4 of those to make the next step in the chain, which is basically getting to the Sacrificial Dagger, Solium. It's the Solium. There you go. So the Solium itself. You need 4, and then another 4 on top of that to make the second Solium. Thankfully, you only need 2 of those once to get yourself a Sacrificial Dagger. So it's a bit laborious, but you're just basically going to get some blazing pyrotheum, put it through your magma crucible, the pyrotheum dust, and get it filled onto draconium. You should have enough by now, and you can go to the end to pick up some miscellaneous draconium, at least to get you started. Later on, of course, that's going to become an issue. So we now have a blood altar, and you do, if you hand in the quests over here, quests it's in Nu, I think, or Zai, Chi, or however that's pronounced. Sacrificial Dagger. Dagger of Sacrifice is the other one. That's sort of sacrificing other things, if I remember rightly. Yeah, we take a look at the book. And then Weak Blood Orb. Okay, so Weak Blood Orb would be the thing that you're going to use initially to absorb the stuff in here and put it into your own network or stuff like that. So that's, again, a bit of a problem. So Lordic Runestone of Fire is needed to actually make a Weak Blood Orb. It's normally like a diamond or something trivial. Not so much in this case. We'd need a runestone crafter. We need some scorching crystals, and yeah, so that's going to take a little while. I need to go and figure out how to craft that. That in turn is going to need mana infused gems, some more research. And these mana infused gems are the mana infused shards, which are dust, which are torchberries. It's always the torchberries. I honestly had like a full stack of them at one point, and now I'm out of torchberries again. So I'm going to have to go and find more of those. Not decided what I'm going to put in the 4th platform yet. Maybe a utility area for blood magic. But we've got the dimension set up. We've got the altar set up. We've got a book, and we've got a sacrificial dagger to be able to get on with other things. So yeah, let's take a look on what's next on the list. Next up, just covering the Antlion, I did go and put the Waystone in the right place, so there's my Waystone. It does take XP, particularly if you go long range, but it's only like 3 levels to go between dimensions, so cool with me. And then, of course, we can go over here and get out to our Magma Crawler sort of point in here, so go through Magma Cream and then into the Magma Crawler Eyes. Okay. And there's that one open. And let's see what the next one is. And this is just string. Seems quite odd that string happens to be the thing it actually wants sort of after the magma crawler eyes and the other sort of stuff killing, like, you know, killing monsters and stuff. But hey, that's that, and that's all of them done. And you'll see here, it actually says you have a potion of fire resistance and a potion of night vision. Well worth actually knowing you're going to need that fire resistance to actually get any further. Because in the middle, underneath us now, is the Antlion Overlord, which we get to through that little portal right there. Shall we try? I think we shall. Fire resistance on. And let's go and see if this thing is vulnerable to ranged. It's not vulnerable to ranged, or at least not too much, so I need to hit it with my sword, which isn't terribly hard, except that it's actually really damaging. So yeah, run away. And let's see, are you vulnerable to range at any point? Not really. So I'm going to have to beat this thing down, and hopefully we can get a swipe in every now and then. And it shouldn't be too bad if I'm not for a lot of running around. Okay, backwards circle strafing is the order of the day, and it's surprising how much... oh dear, it really doesn't like me. It's setting me on fire now. There you go. Okay, so we've got stuff. Good. And there goes the Antlion Overlord. In particular, the thing I want most is... well, maybe it's only coming after it finishes. I would like... yes, there we go. Little bits and pieces, an Antlion egg. Will that work in the same way as the Ender egg? If I just... oops, I don't... that's an empty bottle. No, I can break it. That's fine. Okay, so that means I've basically taken care of the Overlord, and in here we got the Soul Crystal, which is the main point of this whole fight. You need a lot more Soul Crystals, I would imagine, but let's just take a look. Uses for Soul Crystals. The main one is this. So you're going to need 3 more, at least. And there may well be need for them elsewhere in this to actually make the Philosopher's Stone. Okay? And the other use is this. This only needs 1, however. And the whole point, well, I say it only needs 1, apart from all the other stuff that's in here. We've got Blood Magic and Project X and, yeah, all kinds of stuff. The wand of animation, basically you can make a block of anything. You can right-click it, it turns it to an NPC. You can put it into a mob spawner. And you have infinity of that block as long as your mob spawn lasts. So, yeah, it's kind of handy, really. So well worth actually doing this and getting to your... how do I get out of here again? I would have thought... there we go. Yeah. So, nearly out. And more Antlions. Oh, that got teleported. Oh, well. Out we go. And back over to here. Now, because I no longer need this particular Antlion, I don't actually need this anymore to teleport back to the base. But if you ever need it to go anywhere else in a dimension, I will probably take this with me because, hey, the Erebus isn't particularly friendly to flying. So once you've explored somewhere, you can easily get back to it and carry on just by picking it up and keep on going. So I like that, and it's very, very useful. So yeah, I did want to get at least 1 boss sorted. There is a couple of other bosses easily reachable there that we encountered before. The Brood Mother's one of them, and other bits and pieces. So yeah, do be aware, however, that when you teleport in dimensions, you get this effect where you can't see your XP level at the bottom of the screen. It's easily remembered just by taking 1 of these solid experience. But until you do that, you can't actually use these Waystones between dimensions because it says you need 3 levels, and of course it looks like you have no levels. Not sure what bug causes that when you go across between dimensions, but it's easy enough to sort out. There's also Quake Hammer. I don't think I actually need that, but there's the bits and pieces, but nothing as important by far as this 1 Soul Crystal. So let's get that checked off the list. I did get a comment on a previous video asking why I didn't use the these rack, basically, to get creative flight rather than using my angel ring. Well, 1, the angel ring I can anchor. That's the main reason. These, sometimes they drop when you die. So if you die somewhere and you need flight to get back, well, and it's flight that drops, you don't have flight anymore. And that's a bit of a problem. So having these be available with spirit anchors, I find much superior to the whole flight thing. Up to you entirely. You can just go straight for the flight thing in the quests up here in rewards in flight totem. 768 rack, and you get an ability totem with flight on it. There are other ones there as well. I'm using the saturation one, but we can go for other stuff too. It's no big deal. But if you see anything that I haven't got already, then feel free to let me know. Here's what ones I have already. So I have Jump Boost 2, I have Night Vision 1, Regeneration level 1. I probably should get level 3 of that to regenerate health faster. That would be actually quite useful with blood magic. In fact, let's go and take a look at that. But speed and step assist. So let's go and see how much expense I have to deal with for this. So regeneration is going to be one of the ones I picked up. Yeah, so it's going to be 2 stacks per. So I need 4 stacks. Okay, that's 256. Ouch, that's expensive. But at the same time, it has a really good benefit when it comes to blood magics. So probably worthwhile actually adding like that. And then we just do the same thing because it's repeatable. Okay, and then we get regen 3. Okay, so the regen 3 effect is already on me, and that should help immensely. So yeah, I'm glad I remembered to talk about that. Regardless, onward. And we're coming to the close of the episode, but I did want to cover just a couple of things. One is I need to get into this new Matchcraft soon, but also the Draconium that we're going to need. The Draconium seed was what I actually wanted to cover because we're going to need a lot of it. Not Awakened Draconium, that's even worse. Draconium seed needs a few things we don't have. Void ingots are fine, the Dawnstone and Ender Pearls, so the outer ring's fine. The inner ring, you can see we have a bit of a problem in that it's Draconium, and each of these is 9. So obviously 9 by 8, 72 Draconium. But the main thing is the thing in the middle, and also the fact this is Advanced Crafting Table Tier 2. So Advanced Crafting Table Tier 2 needs Tier 1, which needs some basic components, block of iron, basic components, which is a lot of black iron, if I remember rightly. Yep, black iron, which is coming from Ender Crafting. So we need to get Ender Crafting going, and that each of those things require Enderium, blank runes from blood magic, obviously, that's where we're going, and empowered void. And empowered void doesn't look too hard to actually do. Yeah, those all seem like reasonable things to be able to make a whole stack of this stuff. But if you haven't used Ender Crafting before, there is a crafter block, and then there is a whole bunch of these alternators, and you need to make those void ingots again for the alternators. So you stack a lot of these up near the crafter, and that improves its speed. And then you can use this kind of thing for other crafting. Ender Biotite, I thought that was Black Pearl. It is not Black Pearl. So can we actually make that nice and renewably? I guess it's going to have to be the seed, Ender Biotite Essence. And how do we get that? That is rune crafting. So yeah, and it's intermedium. Oh my. So we're going to have a bit of a slog for the first few things to sort of unlock lots of growing of Draconium. So yeah, I'm going to have to get a whole bunch of this neutral steel of the 1st and 2nd degree made. And that is unfortunately Draconium. So I'm going to be really, really short of Draconium. If anyone knows of any fast way to get a lot of Draconium that isn't seeds in this pack in KAPPA mode, do let me know. Otherwise, well, by the time you let me know, I'll probably have mined an awful lot of it in the end. So yeah, I will leave it there for this episode. We've unlocked blood magic. We've got a little bit further, and we're sort of hitting the mid-game bottlenecks now. One thing I would like to head towards fairly soon is the ME controller. And that's going to need a few of these things to get sorted. Mechanism is next up. Pneumaticraft needs an expansion, and blood magic itself for these crystal clusters, and astral sorcery is also another mod we need to open. So I need to obviously craft the very starting crafting altar with some aquamarine, which is fair enough, easy enough to do. In fact, we can do that straight away, really. Yeah, there's nothing in here apart from needing marble. So we need to go and get some marble from somewhere and sort that out. Okay, so I'll leave it over here for now. If you've got any questions, any comments, or even any improvements on what I've done, let me know in the comments down below. As of course, you can like, subscribe, and click on the bell if you want notifications for more episodes. Other than that, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.